I'm here at the Akumin booth at RSNA 25, and the company has definitely kicked it up a notch. Or more accurately, they've dropped it down a notch. I'm about to sit down with some company executives to learn more about their new Access drop trailer solution. Let's get to it. You know, last year at RSNA 24, I had the chance to stop in here at Akumin to get a tour of their new Access solutions, which was a mobile unit that could be set up at an organization in a very short period of time. You had to have a concrete pad set up, but then they would drop these mobile units onto that pad, and which allowed people to have a CT scan or a Liniac solution right there. It was a much better solution than your typical mobile trailer, and it really felt like an extension of the hospital. Well, this year at RSNA 25, the company debuted something very unique. They've basically taken the concept of a mobile trailer, which we have seen very often, which do house CTs and other devices, and they've done something new and different with it. Essentially, instead of having the patients have to be lifted or climb very, very steep stairs, they have changed the entire workflow by lowering the trailer down to ground level. It's called their drop trailer solution. And I had a chance to meet with Howe, the CEO of Akumin, and Greg Sitkiewicz. He's the Chief Operating Officer here at Akumin. And they're going to tell me more about this wonderful solution. Greg, Henry, welcome to the program.
Great, thank you for having us.
Yeah, good to be here.
Akumin operates across 3 lines of business. We operate fixed sites across the U.S. We also operate about 350 mobile units also across the country, and we have a radiation oncology capability. In each 3 of these areas, we both provide the scanning capability as well as the technologists who provide the scanning service, or in the case of radiation oncology, the care.
Thanks for hosting me in your lovely booth, where we've just gone through a big unveil of that big unit right behind you. Let's start there. Can you describe what you've just announced here at RSNA 25?
Yeah, what we've introduced today is the first of its kind in the US mobile drop trailer. We call the Access mobile drop trailer. It drops to the ground to improve the patient experience so they don't have to use the stairs or the lifts when they visit us for care.
It's really an access story. So making it really convenient for patients just to walk on. It's actually, how we're describing it, it's the experience of a fixed site location in a mobile trailer that we can put on a route and move to various locations. Today we're launching with a PET CT from Siemens.
And this unit that you've got behind here, one of the big highlights of it was the fact that it lowers to the ground. Why is that so important?
Yeah, so we believe that all mobile units do provide good access to customers, especially patients who are further away and may not be able to easily get care or drive. For us, though, to be able to take that experience and remove the lift experience and the up and down, we think will make what is already a good access story even better for patients.
And you know, from an industry perspective, there hasn't been a lot of change in mobile radiology over the last 20 years since really the introduction of PET CT. And so bringing a drop trailer and enabling it to be more convenient for the patients and the staff to access the trailer. And it drops in 90 seconds. So it's super convenient for the health systems as well.
I was just going to ask that, like, how long does it take to set up one of these units?
Yeah, it's really fast. It's a 90-second drop. It's got 2 push-outs, so we do the push-out, and within 15 minutes, up and going. So no operational concerns from the drop trailer.
And what's the anticipated use case for this? Like, where would people be wanting to use this mobile unit as opposed to one of your more fixed units like you have over there?
Yeah, so we find that we have a lot of patients that have need, some in more rural areas. In those situations, we'll partner with a health system and provide that access with the mobility provided by the trailer. We also find that it is expensive to build new capacity. And so for a health system that is either looking to expand this type of care, they might start with a mobile unit, or for a health system where maybe a bit cost prohibitive to build out new to begin or to add capacity, these units often make a lot of sense.
There's just a lot of demand in imaging, and hospitals are struggling to keep up with that demand. And so having something like a drop trailer come in, or as we move into the other unit, the Akumin Access for PET CT or MRI, it's high volume. So now you can see, whereas a normal radiology trailer, you're seeing about a patient an hour. There you can see 2, maybe 3 patients an hour. So if you have the backlog to justify it, now we're talking about high volume demand, which is more access for patients in the community.
And just to be clear, you were explaining to me before that this technology is new to healthcare, but it's technology that's been in use for a long time in Europe.
Yeah, the ability to lift and lower a trailer is a technology that exists, and I think it exists in the US too on a smaller scale, but not in healthcare in the US. And so part of what we're doing with our innovation is we are bringing that technology and that capability to the US and healthcare in the mobile imaging space.
One of the things that's important for hospitals is that even though the unit might be outside, they want it to be, hospital executives want it to be consistent with their brand. So they want it to be a good patient experience and look good and make it feel like you're in the facility itself, in the hospital itself. So this brings an extension of the hospital into mobile radiology.
Now, of course, our audience is very IT centric, and I'm sure some of them are thinking right now, well, how do I hook this up to all of my other health systems, like my EHR and all that stuff? I'm assuming the IT hookup is pretty simple with these units.
We're really straightforward, and we're really an extension of the hospital. So the hospital with mobile radiology, all your own scheduling, all your own RIS and ERP systems, radiology systems into PACS. We're just an extension of the hospital.
And one of the other announcements you're making here is the fact that the Access Solutions unit, the more permanent one, now is capable of MRI. Did I get that right?
So last year when we launched it, we launched with WINAC and PET CT. And yes, this year, and what's showcased behind me is the MRI unit for the first time.
So this is now, the MRI enables high volume MRI. If you were to think about mobile radiology, you might have it a day a week, 2 days a week. You could have it 5 days a week, but at some point you would think about getting like an access unit to enable high volume patient throughput for both. Now we have it for PET CT, MR, which you're launching today, and linear accelerators for radiation therapy.
So if I was a healthcare organization that was kind of thinking about expanding my imaging capabilities, what would you tell me to convince me to take a look at these kinds of units?
Yeah, as demand upticks and you're thinking about expanding into different modalities in radiology, even if assuming capital is there, the time of installation and the time of construction is a big gating factor. It oftentimes takes a year, 18 months, 2 years to build out a net new PET CT. And with a access or a drop trailer, we can actually bring these in and be operational quite fast. A drop trailer sits on the same pad, so that could be operational, next week. From an access MRI and PET, it's about a 2-day installation, and that gets you up and going fast, no capital out front, and taking care of patients, within a month.
Final question for both of you. Where can people go to learn more about Akumin?
Yeah, you can go to our website, which is akumin.com, spelled with a K and an I, so Akumin. Probably other resources.
No, just visit our website. We have a lot of information and collaterals, and we'd love to talk to hospital groups more about mobile radiology.
Now, while I was here, I had the chance to tour through the new drop trailer. I found it very impressive. What I really appreciate about it is that it's got a linear workflow. A typical trailer that I've been through, you go through the steps, you go into the unit, and then you come out the same door. There's no flow. It's just basically a couple of rooms inside the trailer. Although that's the same kind of layout they have here, what makes the Akumin one unique is that you go in through the back door of the trailer, you go and get prepared for your scan, you then flow into the scan room, and then you come out the doors on the side. And that's a nice little workflow, very smooth, very efficient. I also appreciated the 12-foot ceilings inside the unit, which allows the rad techs to have a bird's eye view of the patient inside the scanner. It also allows them to see everything going on in the room without having to get up. I think one of the nice touches that Akumin did in their design is the addition of a new small window inside this mobile unit. The small window gives them a little bit of a view of the outside world, which I think is really, really needed if you're spending 12 hours in one of these trailers. You want to see the outside. So definitely I think rad techs will appreciate having that window to the outside world. So overall, I'm really impressed with their new mobile drop trailer. I think it is very unique. As the company representatives were telling me, they believe that this is actually going to be a hot seller for people who are replacing an older or maybe retiring an older mobile unit. This unit is meant to be driven around. It is meant to be set up very, very quickly, maybe set up for 3 days in one spot, driven to another area which doesn't have a lot of imaging access, set up again, allow for more imaging. I think that's very impressive. Hey, I really want to thank Greg and Henry for coming on camera and giving me that overview of Akumin, both the new drop trailer as well as the addition of the MRI capabilities to their access solution that I saw last year. I think what the company is doing is really interesting. I really appreciate that they're really taking a proven technology from a different industry, in this case transportation in Europe, and applying it uniquely to healthcare. I think the drop trailer is very unique. I think it's very clear they've really thought through the workflow. They've really spent a lot of time studying how things like this get used, how rad techs like to operate, how patients like to be treated in these mobile units. I think this one might be a big hit. And hey, if you've gotten this far in the video, please mash that like button and click subscribe. At the same time, please leave us a comment below with what you think about this video and about this technology. Lastly, head on over to healthcareittoday.com where you can find more great content like this. I'm Colin Hung. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.